Hello, peoples. This is Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. So I am going to make a new character named Newbie, and we will be a centaur berserker with a spear. So this is just a dungeon crawler, right? So you can walk around with the arrow keys, one per turn. And you can see over here, it says 0.7. That's how long my previous turn took. So for a centaur, you can walk one tile in 0.7 seconds. But if I hit 5 to wait and stand still for one turn, you can see it increments the timer by one full turn. Most creatures walk one square in 1 second, so I walk 30% faster than most creatures. And that's like the biggest advantage that centaurs have. So after you kill the thing, you notice I just killed a thing, they leave behind a corpse. You can chop it up into meat in order to eat it, but you can only eat disgusting raw bat meat if you're so hungry that you're willing to stuff down this disgusting food. Some races get the advantage that they can eat at all times, but not centaurs, baby, not centaurs. Centaurs actually have a faster metabolism than average, and they don't gain as much sustenance from eating pieces of dead monster as other races. So one of the coolest things about this dungeon crawl relative to other dungeon crawls is, as you can see, the auto-explore concept. It's funny, like once upon a time, games used to try to hide everything from their users. And then, I mean, it's not like World of Warcraft was the first game to do this, but World of Warcraft was the first, like, mainstream, super popular game to just say, look, if your game is good enough, you should be able to basically share the source code. You should be able to share every bit of information that there is to share with your users, and they should still be able to have fun. So hiding things became a thing of the past. And Dungeon Crawl is yet another game that takes advantage of that sort of mantra. By the way, I went up a level. I'm now level 3, and I get to choose whether I want strength, dexterity, or int. I'm going to go for dex. And it's actually an open source game, so you can read everything about the source code. There's nothing hidden or secret about the game. Everything is completely open source and available to everyone. Getting plate this early is so awesome, man. Plate is like one of those things that if you don't find plate within the first 6 dungeon levels, at least for me, I just die. Ooh, this is kind of a slightly more tricksy, but not tricksy enough because, like I said, it just got plate. So plate reduces the damage you take by 50% on top of your armor class. The way armor class works is if a creature hits you, it rolls its damage dice. So say it was going to do 6 damage. Because I'm wearing plate, it now does 3, and then I have an armor class of 11. So he's going to do 3 damage, and I'm going to roll a random number between 1 and 11. And if that number is higher than 3, then he doesn't do damage. And if that number is 2, then he does 1 damage, and so on and so forth. So the higher your armor class, the better. But even with like a 200 armor class, you could still roll a 1 and take almost full damage. So that the heaviness of your armor, like, whoa, there's an invisible guy here who's confusing me and stuff. Weird invisible guy. Don't kill me, invisible guy. Alright. I need to not die somehow. Let's try Trog's hand. Nope, I died. Oh well. That was sad. Let's do it again. Maybe I won't find plate this time. That invisible guy was totally invisible, man. It was crazy. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the guaranteed damage reduction, GDR, of wearing heavier armor is quite important. Because like if you're getting hit by an ogre that's going to do 20 damage and instead you take 10, and then you roll your armor class after that, then you're much more likely to not instantly die to every ogre you run into. See how I'm running around with low health? This is quite dangerous, but I'm okay with it because, like I said, centaurs are super fast. So if I need to, I can get away from basically anything. I should have run away from that invisible guy before, but I was, only partially thinking because I'm trying to talk at the same time. So most important things in the early game, get a shield, because plate's guaranteed damage reduction only affects melee attacks. It doesn't affect ranged attacks. So you can just get cremated. Like, if you wear a big heavy plate and have lots of training and armor, then you'll take almost no damage from the melee creatures, but then you run across one guy with a bow and he just destroys you immediately. So you'll heal, as you can see, over time just by doing your thing. Right here I'm hitting Shift X to bring up the map, so now when I move around it moves the map instead of my character. And then I'm hitting Shift period to tell me the nearest exit. So every level has 3 exits, 1, 2, 3. They're the same 3 exits. And you can scroll between them with Shift period, and then you can walk to them with period. So boom, down another level. Dude. Being a centaur, I'm totally willing to run away. Okay, so pretty low, and now we get to run away. So the cool thing about running away, you see how now I have 2 spaces between me and him because I ran away in 0.7 seconds, and it takes him a full 1.0 seconds to move. So now I can hit him, because I have a spear, I can actually hit him from 2 squares away. So your reach attack and hit blah blah blah, and he's heavily wounded. They don't tell you the amount of damage you do with each hit. So I can kite this guy even though I'm quite low health. I think I'm going to go upstairs and heal up. So if you hold shift and hit 5 with numlock off, then you rest until something happens. So in this case, you'll rest a maximum of 100 turns. So I rested 100 turns and 100 turns and 21 turns. But you'll stop resting if a message comes up, like you get hit by someone, you spot a monster, or you become hungry, whereas before you were a different level of hungriness. Orcish leather armor with a weird rune on it. That's obviously better than what I'm wearing. I was hoping to find heavier armor. Positive energy. Armor of positive energy. I don't even know what that does. Protects the wearer from effects of negative energy with like draining effects. So draining effects aren't super common, especially not this early. As you can see, this yellow thing, I am very hungry right now. So I gotta kill some things and eat them, so I can eat a cockroach. Those are delicious. This little green squiggly on it means that it has a percentage chance of making me sick. And luckily it didn't make me sick. I got a ring of flight, so I can fly around if I want to. In order to actually fly, though, the ring of flight just gives me the ability to fly, but it doesn't like make me fly all the time. In order to actually fly, I have to click this button. As you can see, I have three magic abilities. One of them is burn spellbooks, one's berserk, and one's flight. If I click flight, then it says you are now flying, and you feel somewhat more hungry. So food is like a resource, kind of. It's very similar to mana. There's actually mana, this blue bar, and food. Ooh. So I'm going to berserk for the first time. Berserking, as you can see, my hit points are 29 out of 33. When I berserk, it's 43 out of 49. It gives me additional hit points. Also, my strength goes up by quite a bit. Also, normally when I attack with my spear, it takes, I think, 1.1 seconds. And when I'm berserked in attack, see, it takes 0.7. So it makes my attacks hit a lot faster. This is a 0.6 second attack. So I might get 2 attacks for every one of the enemy, or whatever, when berserking. But the downside of berserk is when it wears off, as you can see it just wore off, it leaves me with slow and exhausted. Exhausted just means I can't berserk again anytime soon, and slow means when I take a step, it takes 1.1 seconds instead of 0.7. Now as a super quick centaur, even slowed, I still move about as fast as a normal person. The little green thing next to my dude and the POIS right there means that I'm poisoned. I'm going to wait it out. And now I'm near starving. I have to eat something. I have lots of food in my inventory just in case I need it. I have these grapes and bread and whatever. But you should save that food because it doesn't go bad, whereas chunks of monster meat do go bad. So it's best to chunk of monster meat it up. So here we go. There's a chunk of monster meat. Alright, got some monster meat. I'm going to hit that rat from far away and eat the monster meat. Eat. Now I'm level 4. Right here it says, you are level 4. Good times. So this is your quiver. You can bring it up with control, Shift Q, that is, like capital Q. And I only have darts in my inventory. They're automatically being picked up because you get to determine what things get automatically picked up over here. So right now it says a plus. See, darts has a plus next to it, but bolts has a minus. So right now I'm saying if you see any darts or javelins, pick them up. If you see any bolts or arrows, don't pick them up, kind of thing. So everything in the whole game, you get to choose what things you want to pick up and what things you don't want to pick up. Let's go back to my inventory and eat stuff. And ta-da, things are delicious. You will automatically eat as you explore or as you rest. You also, there's a button to automatically attack, but it has a safety on it. And you can set that safety. Right now I have it set to 80%. So whenever I'm below 80% health, auto attacking will just give you a message saying your health is way too low. You should probably not be auto attacking right now. Ooh, a glowing spear. I have a normal noob spear, and now I have a glowing spear. Oh, it was only glowing because it's cursed. It's just a 0/0 spear. That's no better than what I had, but it's also no worse, so that's good. So now I'm going to take a nap. Ooh. So some things are as fast as me. Snakes, I think, move in like 0.4. Ooh, Slid's talking about the new god in Smite, Kronos. He's the keeper of time. He's basically just fast, and he can stun for 1 second, which isn't a very long stun. Yes, okay, I get it. I get it. Let me please close this. Rune leather armor. I think I already have rune leather armor of resistance to... Man, I have 2 of those open. Alright, so I have armor of resistance to draining, which I don't... No, don't keep disrobing. I should kill these things first. So this is clean meat. See how it doesn't have the green thing? So clean meat is always better than dirty meat. And as a berserker, I worship a god named Trog. And he gives me more piety every time I sacrifice a corpse to him. So hitting P to pray. Some gods want you to sacrifice items. Other gods want you to sacrifice corpses. Other gods just want you to kill monsters or see a new type of monster, or like there's lots of different things different gods want. Trog gets mad at you if you do any magic. So I can't do magic. I mean, I can, but he'd get mad at me. He wants me to sacrifice corpses, and he gives me these amazing, like, oh my god, I'm going to die, let me push this button, and then I will just win the fight anyway, buttons. But the problem is, as a melee character, I'm meleeing right now, you're so close to a monster, and if it's a fast monster like that snake, you walk right up to him and start hitting him, and he's faster than you, so you can't run away, so you either kill him or you don't, and if you don't, you die. So that's kind of risky business, which is why I used to be a Minotaur berserker. But they move in 1.0 seconds, whereas these guys move a little faster, so that gives me a little more leeway to run away when I need to. A lot of times you'll run in thinking you can probably win this fight easily, then you'll start to die, and you'll say, okay, well, how do I get out of this? And as a Minotaur, your only options are, how do I kill them fast enough? But as a centaur, you have the option of, okay, how do I run away? So let's kill all these dudes. Uh-oh. So Berserk ran out and I killed everyone in the immediate area, but this guy's still coming at me. But because I'm super fast, I can still get away even though... So I hit Shift 5 to rest once to get rid of one effect. So it got rid of the slow effect. It didn't heal me up, it didn't any of that stuff, and it only rested for 2 rounds or something. So now we go and kill that mother. Alright. I'm kind of getting squished by these guys too. So see, I'm faster than them. I gain more and more, you know, of a lead against them. I think one of them is using a... So I'm just waiting, hitting 5 to wait. Now they're in range of my weapon, and I'm in range of theirs, but I'm only in range of one of them instead of both of them. I have 1 health. So... I think if I move, he doesn't get a chance to hit me. And now we get the question of, okay, when you're at 1 health, I'm going to get a little bit of a lead, and then hit this, which heals me. And then each time I move, see, I'm at 3 health, and then I move again, I'm at 4 health, and I move again, I'm at 5 health. So as long as I'm faster than them, oops, should be able to run in circles until I heal up. Or just go upstairs. So there's those little dudes coming back. And we'll go upstairs and we'll just eat. So rations will feed you like a crap ton, whereas anything that's not a ration just feeds you a tiny bit. So I went from starving to very hungry, not a great thing. This spear is actually -2, -1. That's not very good. Alright, back to starving. Let's eat some more grapes. And I think I'm going to berserk those gnolls because they seemed hard. I think I started fighting them at full health and they still kick my butt. So I'm going to eat all of my grapes. Oops. E. And a meat ration. I'll go downstairs, berserk, and kill them. Alright. And he had a two-handed pole arm. And that seems reasonably good for me, right? Let's turn his corpse into delicious, delicious meats. And then we'll try to rest a little while. Those worms are kind of powerful. I'm going up here to continue resting. Oh, adders are not very powerful, but they are very fast. So if you're super low health, you need to run immediately when you see them. I was not super low health, so I'm okay. So this worm is someone I can take. Ooh, bat. Chop up his corpse for foods. And now I want to use this weapon, but this one is cursed. So I have to find a scroll of remove curse. This was a scroll of teleportation, so pretty soon I'm going to be in a random spot within the dungeon. This was a scroll of enchant weapon. That'll work. I enchanted it, so now it's not cursed anymore. Rune leather armor. Is this the armor of not draining, or is this an armor that I haven't identified yet? I think it's an armor I've never tried yet. Okay. No, I don't want to keep taking my clothes off when I'm surrounded by bad guys. I think hobgoblins are pretty easy. Alright, let's get a little bit of a lead on them and then start whacking them. Whack-a-mole! Okay, good. Chainmail. Chainmail is like 7, whereas the armor I'm wearing, ringmail, is only 5. So it's not so much the AC that I want from the chainmail, it's the GDR, the guaranteed damage reduction that I talked about earlier. So, again, I've got some chunks in my inventory even though I'm not hungry yet, and when you auto-explore, they automatically get eaten as you become hungry, and that just means that you can explore a lot further without having to stop all the time. So, oh my gosh. So these two priests, the wizard and the priest, are hard. All of these orcs are super easy. I'm not wearing almost any gear, so I'm not feeling like I want to take this group with them casting on me. So I'm going to break line of sight. If you break line of sight, they can't cast spells on you. You can only cast spells on things you can see. There's a lot of stuff here. I'll throw a dart at him from really far away. So I teleported here. I don't know where an exit is. I kind of thought I was running towards an exit, but I don't know where one is. Alright, so now no one can see me. I'm going to hit regeneration. I wonder if flight makes me faster. I got some ring that I don't know what it does. Killed one dude. Orc and the priest are catching up. Got another one. Ooh. So these guys are easy once you get up next to them. It's just that if you try to approach them from far away, they nuke you 3 times while you're coming up, and that's no fun. So there's an invisible one down and to the left of me, and I'm beating him up. And I killed him, and he had a magic dagger, and I can eat his delicious, delicious corpse. I love eating your corpses. Rah, rah. So mostly I'm hitting auto-explore and auto-attack, and then hoping cool stuff drops. I don't need that. Auto-explore, auto-attack, auto-explore, auto-attack. And by default, auto-explore will not sacrifice corpses, but you can turn on auto-sacrifice, and that's what I've done. So after I kill everything, I either cut up its corpse manually to eat, or if I don't, then auto-explore is just going to sack it for my god's piety. And pretty soon I'll get enough piety with my berserker god that he'll let me summon berserked allies, and at that point I can kill literally anything as long as I know in advance that it's going to be a hard fight. One problem I have is a lot of the time I die before I realize that I'm even in trouble. And that goes away with practice. The more times you play the game, the more you get to know, like, certain things are scary and certain things are not, you know? Ooh, a shop of potion of curing. I'm not going to buy that. I have 200 gold. It costs 60, and it's only cures poison and gives me a tiny bit of health back. Not even really enough to justify using it in combat. The only time I use potions in combat is if I think I'm going to lose the fight, and by that point I'm usually at half health and surrounded. So generally you want a much bigger heal. Cure poison, like winning the fight cures your poison, because once the fight's over you can just... you can just wait it out, or use Trog's Hand to heal it up. So this level's clear and going down. Oops. Why am I... What is that green stuff? It must be like a shop. Alright, I'm going down a level. Another cool thing, Control F for find. You can say, I want pole arms. And it says, these are the pole arms in the dungeon. And armor. Is there any plate or... anything cool? I want splint or plate. Splint is one level above plate, so it's not too bad. Anything below splint, though, not really worth wearing. As a centaur, I only gain half of the AC benefit from my armor, but I gain the full GDR, and that's what I really want. I don't care so much about the AC. Once upon a time, I used to just try to maximize AC and EV. EV is your dodge, basically, so I have 1 in 5 chance to dodge, and I don't know, it's not like 1 in 5, I got a 5 EV, whatever the heck that means. Like, the details are obviously available. Like I said, every detail about the game is available, but I just haven't memorized it. I just know that higher numbers are better, man. And that you never have a 100% chance to avoid attacks, so no matter how much dodge you get, it's not as good as guaranteed damage reduction. So I'm poisoned right now. I'm going to keep exploring and hope I don't stumble across anything super terrible. That weird yellow staircase goes to the Ecumenical Temple, which is your first chance... faster than everything, brother. What's up? Usually to get a god, if you're if you don't start as a berserker, then usually you need to pick your first god when you find the Ecumenical Temple, but I'm a berserker, so I already have a god, so I don't need to go in there. Alright. And we'll heal up and go find more stuff. Oh, I found an amulet. A ring and an amulet. I don't need protection from fire. I don't really need a ring of flight. So many of the amulets and rings in this game are specific protections. So, like, you encounter a beast, you know because you're a genius what kind of damage it does. So you retreat a little bit, and then you put on your ring of protection from the type of damage that beast does, and then you come back and kill it. Or you go into, like, the snake pit, and you know that everything you encounter is going to have poison damage or whatever. But I like amulets and rings that just do something all the time, like an amulet or ring of what's this? Enchant weapon 2. Kind of sucks. I don't want to enchant this piece of crap weapon. So I like rings of the gourmand or rings of satiation or amulets of the same because they allow you to eat more, which allows you to use your berserker ability more consistently. Edmund had a dire flail. That's pretty sweet. Wear me a dire flail. So these are your skills. In general, fighting is not really fighting. It's just hit points. Armor is how much wearing heavier and heavier armor impacts your attack speed. So it's actually plus damage when wearing heavy armor. It's not even plus effectiveness of armor. Dodge is how good you are at dodging, obviously, but because I'm going to wear heavy armor, I don't really care much about dodge. And polearm just affects attack speed of when you're using a polearm. So right now I just equipped a mace, so my skill with maces is 0. My skill with polearms, though, is only 4, so I don't really have very much skill with anything. None of the skills really matter, man. Most important, of course, is your weapon skill getting to minimum cooldown, but when you're a kitey dude like me, even that doesn't matter too much. So I have plus 2 chainmail. I don't need new chainmail. New unworn unidentified chainmail could be as much as plus 2, but it can't be plus 3, and I already have plus 2, so... That store had a bunch of wands for sale. Wands are like throwing darts, except for they don't use the throwing skill. Instead, they use the invocation, or not invocation, evocation skill. And they can have all sorts of really cool effects. Digging knocks down a wall, so like if you want to create a little passageway so that people can't surround you, you just dig your way into the wall and they have to come at you one at a time. or if you want to just dig to a place you can't otherwise get to. Confusion makes them wander around randomly. Paralysis, quite sweet. All of these are great things, but I'm not going to use wands mostly because I'm going to use a bow when I freaking find one. I can't find a bow. I might either use a bow or throwing, depending on how long it takes me to find a bow and whether I find some cool javelins before that. Usually, though, my god Trog, if I make him happy enough, he just starts giving me stuff. And one of the first things he gives me is usually a bow. So I'm going to turn off polearm research because I don't know yet whether or not I'm gonna like this mace so much that I don't want to bother with polearms anymore. The main benefit of polearms, this halberd, is reach. They can attack people from 2 squares away, which means that I can abuse the fact that I'm faster than everyone to hit them from safety. And I've already used that multiple times to save my life when I was low on hit points. So that was my plan for this character. But if you find a really good non-reach weapon, scale mail I don't want is only 6. I've got chainmail, which is 7. If you find really good non-reach weapon, you can always just use bows instead. So you just, when you need to kite, you kite really far and then start shooting your bow at him. One problem with bows is ammo conservation, though. And you have to switch between your bow and your spear, which isn't bad or tactically, right? You don't lose a lot of game time, but you lose a lot of real time. It's annoying to have to click the stupid thing. And the single quote button automatically switches, but even having to do that is kind of annoying. I don't like having to switch between weapons, which is why I like throwing weapons so much more than ooh. Too hungry to berserk, and eating would take 2 rounds. Probably get me killed. I'm fast enough to get away, so that's what I'm obviously going to do. But I'm not using my reach weapon, so I can't kill them as I run away. So I'll move a little bit further away and put on my halberd and then start to kill people. Run a little bit away. Oops. I hit the wrong button and it was like, you'd like to do a macro. And I was like, no. That is the story of my likeness. So you can see how this guy, every time I hit him, it doesn't even look like he takes damage. Because he's undead. So like, you can't tell how much damage he's taken. Because, you know, he's undead. Alright, he's dead. So you never know, like, if it's going to be an easy fight or not. Usually, against a non-undead guy, you just hit him a couple times, and if he almost dies, then you're like, okay, this is going to be an easy fight. Ooh, that guy had a reach weapon. I want a reach weapon. Trident. Cool. So Trident is one-handed instead of the halberd. You can see it does 9 damage, plus 1 to attack, and 130 attack delay. So if my normal attack speed is 1.0, this would be 1.3. Whereas if my normal attack speed is faster, then this is faster, you know. And this one is 13 and 15, which is better than 9 and 13. But this one's one-handed, so I can use it with a shield. So in general, I favor tridents over halberds, but until I find a shield, I guess I favor... What is that? Spear. Okay, I thought it was a javelin. I'm like, why would it not pick up a javelin, punk? Ooh. Alright. Whoa! Look how many ghost things there are. And I'm slow. Wow. I need to not be slow anymore. That's my new plan. So here's a trick. There's a million guys coming after me, right? If I go down here, it brings anyone within 0 squares of me down with me. Now I can rest until I'm not slow anymore. Go back up. Kill him and him. So these things are all super easy. It's the zombie ogre that isn't easy, but the stupider a creature is, like you can imagine a zombie ogre is probably quite stupid. The stupider a creature is, the less amount of time it will follow you for. So they only followed me like 3 squares, and then they're like, I can't see him. He's probably gone. They're also very slow, so it kind of makes some sense for them not to follow people very far. These ghost things, hungry ghosts. I lose consciousness. That's not good. I guess it's because I'm starving. Yeah, I need to eat something. Eat a pear. I'll eat 2 pears. I'll eat a rambushna, whatever that is. Anyway, these ghosts don't do any damage, but they have a lot of hit points. Kind of a weird combo. There's a lot of things like that, like freaking imps. It takes forever to kill imps because they regenerate almost instantly, and they have a ton of hit points. Whoa! But they don't do any damage, so you can't just ignore them and rest when you need to rest. You have to run away and rest. It's really annoying. Ooh, he actually kept following me for a sec. Uh-oh, that's a ghost. See ABC? That's the character I use for my actual guys. Usually, it looks extremely dangerous. See this text down at the bottom of the screen? It says extremely dangerous, immune to poison and acid, resistant to cold. So that's probably the ghost of one of my like level 10 characters. So I don't want to fight it. Let's go back up here. Ghosts won't follow you. I don't think zombies will either. So yeah, neither of those things followed me up the stairs. So I can just take my time. Take my time, bro. Let's wear this other amulet. Cursed Amulet of Guardian Spirit. Amulet of Guardian Spirit is not a bad thing. It's a good amulet. It's just cursed. It's weird that in this game, cursed is kind of a random thing independent of whether... Like, usually you think of a cursed item as being a bad item, but in this game it could be a good item that's just cursed. So these are the imps I was talking about. They're hard to kill. You gotta have a... Like, I'm using the halberd, which is that 13 damage, like big beefy hits. If I hit you, I'm going to kill you in one shot. If you have a really fast attacking, like a dagger that hits for 1 damage every second instead of 13 damage every 13 seconds or whatever, it might be higher DPS, but he regenerates so fast that he'll still kick your butt. So I need to go to a different stairway because the ghost of my old character is punking me. I don't know if I want my... Ooh, what's this? Ah, it's a dazzling spear. +6, +4 spear of drain and blink, and resistance to fire, and resistance to cold, and stealth. Okay, I think I found my weapon. Let's turn polearms back on. So, figuring out how much polearm skill you need, right? So every point of polearm skill, all the way up to infinity, is going to give you a little bit of plus damage, or plus chance to hit, or both. I don't know. But the third thing that it gives you is reduced attack delay, and that's the biggest thing. So you can see we have a 110 attack delay, and then each weapon has a minimum attack delay, and that's not listed here, but you can look it up on the wiki. I think for spears it's probably 5. So if we assume that my minimum attack delay is 5, and every 2 points in skill brings it down by 10, or it's 50, brings it down by 10. Right now I have a 0.9 attack speed, I think, so I need... 2 more skill would give me 0.8, and 2 more would give me 0.7, and 2 more would give me 0.6. So probably need 8 more polearm skill. So let's turn everything off, or turn everything down and just emphasize polearm skill. As a centaur, I'm bad at learning polearms, but I'm +3 ability at throwing and +3 ability at bows. So the typical way to skill up a centaur is to not train any defensive abilities and instead just go all out bow and then shoot everyone from a million miles away. And that works really well, but like I said, you run out of ammo eventually and it's just frustrating. So I like to do things this way instead. Okay. Need to eat someone. I need someone to eat. +6, +4 spear of blink. That is so intense. I need to actually... My chance of failing when I try to blink is 28%, and I can reduce that by getting evocations up a little bit. So I might even do that. Usually as a centaur you want to ignore evocations because we're bad at them. We have 0 aptitude for them, and we're so good at ranged things that like evocations have the side effect of making you really good at using wands. But as I said before, when you're really good at using a bow, why would you ever use a wand? So this is, I'm going to blow up that spell book like a man who blows up spell books. That's one of the abilities of my god, Mr. Trog, Mr. Trogman. And when I blow up a spell book, it makes him happy with me. And the happier he is with me, the more abilities he gives me. So the first ability you get is Berserk and blow up spell books, and then you get Trog's Hand, which is a regenerate thing, which is quite useful. And then Brother in Arms, which right now I have a 56% chance to fail when I try to use Brother of Arms. I think that goes up with invocations rather than evocations. But invocations is how good you are at convincing your god to do nice things for you. Whereas evocations is how good you are at convincing magical items to do nice things for you. But I think it also goes down just based on piety. So the happier I make my god, the more often I will be successful when I try to summon a Brother in Arms. But Brother in Arms is so powerful. I once walked into a room entirely full of these orc guys, like 15 or 20 of them. And I summoned one ogre and then brought them into a choke point, and the ogre killed like 20 guys all by himself. So this big fat piece of mail is splint mail, and as I said, I'm looking for splint mail. It's one of the things I really wanted. So, and I got it. Isn't that nice to get what you want? You can't always get what you want, but if it's splint mail, then you probably will, because it's not that rare. Plus 2 chain mail and plus 0 splint mail, so this reduces my AC a little bit and reduces my EV a little bit, so I'm worse at avoiding attacks completely. But when I get hit, its GDR, guaranteed damage reduction, is higher, so when I do get hit, I take less damage. So I'd rather get hit more often for less damage, because it's consistent, you know. I don't want to get hit every once in a while for 200 damage and just instantly die. That'd be no fun. Do 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 do. So this is that ghost. I'm going to try him because I know that I'm faster than him, and if I can't kill him, I'll just run away. Yeah, what's up? So that's the cool thing in this game. The monsters don't gain levels, so you can always just run away and come back when you're 2 levels higher, and it's a lot easier. Some beef jerky, why not? So I am a little bit, just a wee bit of an herbivore, which means that I eat meat, but I don't like it, and it doesn't help me as much as plants help me. Ooh, a trident, but it's not a special trident, it's just a trident. So we go down, and now there's a million people right next to me. They all hit me a little bit. We go back up, and now there's a million people right next to me still. And we go berserk, we'll kill the hobgoblin, then an orc, an orc, an orc, and an orc, and a hobgoblin. And then we'll take some naps. Everybody likes napping. Napping is great. So I'm running really low on food. That's one of the big things about centaurs. Is it's really easy to starve to death. It's really easy to run out of food. So with centaurs, you really want to get a ring of gourmand, which means you can eat beyond being full. So you can just chop up more and more corpses and just stay always full. Or a ring of satiation, which just means that you won't get hungry as quickly. Because each time I berserk, I get a little bit hungry, but when these orcs don't drop enough for me to eat to catch up from that, like, see, none of them left a corpse that I could eat. So then I need to wait out my healing. Ooh. I shouldn't have done that. I'm faster than them. I'll just run away. Ooh, that dog. He's a warg. So I have a spear of blinking, right? I'm slow, but I can blink. Ooh, I didn't blink. I'm really worried now. Okay, so I probably should have just this is what I'm saying. This is how I usually die. If I'd come down, noticed that I was surrounded by stuff and couldn't immediately go back up, and just immediately summoned a Brother in Arms, then it would have killed all of them and I would have been fine. But instead I'm like, I'm pretty fast, maybe I'll run away. But I didn't realize that I was slow. So then I kind of failed to run away. So then I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll blink. But then I failed my blink. Now I have 6 hit points. So I'm dead this round unless whatever it is that I do works. I can't berserk because I'm exhausted. I have a good chance of blinking, but this priest will probably hit me even if I blink unless I blink. Oh, I don't have enough magic to blink. I have 0 magic left, so I can't blink. I might have a scroll of blink. I do have a scroll of teleport, but scrolls of teleport aren't instant. I might have a scroll of blink, but I never identified all my scrolls, so I don't know which one it would be if I do have a scroll of blinking. And if I read like a scroll of enchant weapon, then I'll just be dead for no reason. I think those are my only options, so I think this is the end of me. Like I said, this is the one that will kill all of them over the course of 6 rounds, but I'm not going to live for 6 rounds. I think this round, this orc is going to kill me. So if I move here, then the orc doesn't kill me. I took no damage. No, I took 1 damage from the warg. So let's summon an ally. So this is my extra so friendly ogre, right? Now if I move behind him, he's going to keep me safe. Now I try to heal myself while hiding behind the ogre. Okay. That round the ogre killed 1 enemy, and I successfully cast my regeneration spell. This is probably a potion of curing, which will give me some hit points. And it is. So it gave me just a couple of hit points. I got hit, but I also healed, so I netted myself +2 hit points. I want a potion of heal wounds, but there's no way to tell which of these might be a potion of heal wounds. Right now, this warrior is hitting me, and he is some scary business. And then there's 2 casters that can hit me from any range. This is the weakest link. This is the cheapest, the least scary of the enemies. So if I move down and right, I get more distance from this warrior, who's the big scary guy. But I might die to the mages. But so freaking be it, right? Okay. So I did get hit. I'm down to 7 hit points, but this warrior is now even further away from me. The mage is right next to me. I'm still slow. I could just use up all my curing potions and hope that the berserker warrior takes care of things, my berserk ogre. I'm too slow, I think, to get out of this just by running. And I can't blink because I have no mana. Could summon another berserker. The little wussy orc died. And the orc priest died. So my berserker ogre did great things this round. I think I'm going to make it out of this. I'm going to use another potion of curing. I'm up to 14 health. Now he killed the big scary guy, and all that's left is the invisible guy. Now the invisible guy's dead, and I win! Yeah! So you can see, impatience is always my downfall in every game. And in this game, it is no different. Oops, rotting. I waited so long to heal up that everything rotted before I got a chance to heal up. Ooh, and there's the plate mail I've always wanted in my dreams. Let's drop the dire flail and the halberd, get me some plate mail, drop the splint mail. I need a shield. Because I have this one-handed spear. And spears do no damage. There's 6 damage every 1 second instead of 13 damage every 1.3 seconds. So they're very low damage, but because it's so enchanted out the wazoo, I think I'm still going to use it. Although I should pick up a secondary weapon that just hits like a truck. So it's got some easy dudes here. So now this time I can berserk. I'm not slowed, so I can run away if I need to. So these are a lot less scary when you're not slowed from just berserking. So instead I just killed them all. This is plate. You're too berserk to put on plate. Alright, I'm not slowed anymore. I don't need 2 plate. There's a 3rd plate. Just keep trying on plate till we find one that's like +2. There we go, that's +2 plate. That's cool. So much plate down here, man. If I'd known that the Orcish mines were chock full of plate, I would have come down here more often. So a lot of the walkthrough guides tell you not to go into the Orcish mines at all when you first find them, and instead go deeper in the dungeon so that you have more XP when you first show up in the mines. And then go into the lair, and then backtrack to the mines later. And I've been doing that because, you know, why read guides if you're not going to do what they say? But it turns out that's just wrong. The Orcish mines are way better. They have better gear, and they're easier. And just generally do the Orcish mines first. Don't be listening to peoples. Peoples, they be lying. So ring of protection, ring of flight. I definitely don't need a ring of flight right now. I mean, flight just allows you to access inaccessible areas, and it increases your stealth, but I'm not stealthy at all because I have frickin' hooves, and I go clop, 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 clop. I don't need a ring of protection from fire. Amulet of Guardian Spirit is kind of useless, but I can't take it off because it's cursed. I should start using scrolls. So, just to see what they do. So I used some scrolls on my armor and nothing happened. Scroll of Magical Mapping shows me the whole map. Use some potions. Because once you've used something once, you generally... So that was blink. I was like, if I had a scroll of blinking, I'd be okay. And I did have a scroll of blinking, but I didn't know which one it was. There's a scroll of enchant armor. Scroll of remove curse is what I'm looking for, but I guess I don't have a remove curse. Well, so don't need the ring of flight, ring of protection from fire. And the reason I just drop things that I don't need, you can't sell them, and like I said, with Control F you can find them again. So protection from fire, ring of protection from fire. So no matter where I am in the dungeon, I can just bring that up and instantly go travel to it and pick it up. So I don't need to keep track of where I put it or any of that stuff. I think Control W makes a waypoint, and I'll make waypoint 0 here, and then I don't know how to travel back to that waypoint, but it's probably some other keystroke. I just use Control F. So I got 2 amulets that are unidentified. What was that? Oh, that was magical mapping. I thought that was a scroll of identify. Anyway, let's get deeper in there. I think we have to go down and then come back up in order to go to the other section. There's a lot of stuff here. Whoa! Okay, so I was right. I have to go down and come back up in order to get to the other section. But now I'm surrounded, and there's no way back down. So, first, we brother in arms. Did that work? You fail. Okay. Then we brother in arms again. And that gives us this little ogre with a heart over him. Next we want a Trog's Hand, make us resistant to magic. Then I want to berserk, but I didn't eat before I got here. So I'd have to eat. I think I'm going to eat. It takes like 4 rounds to eat that. Now I'm going to berserk and just kill everybody. So let's attack Doen. Not really sure which one of these squares is me. I think I'm this guy. Okay, I am that guy. Let's kill Duvas. An orc. A mage. Doen. Man, my summoned ally is so beefy and sexy. And the reason he can be so beefy and sexy is because every time I summon him, I lose a bunch of piety, which is the approval of my god, right? I lose the approval of my god. And if I get a lot of that approval, then I get items from my god. So by summoning the ogre, I'm basically giving up an item. So it makes sense that it would be quite beefy. But hey, I don't like dying. And we cleared everyone. Let's explore the whole place, kill everything, and then take a nap. And now let's see if there was any more plate that I can get a hand hold of. Any shields in the dungeon. Any armor in general, like centaur's barding. No. Pole arm. Nope. Okay, good. So now we'll go down again. Fight these dudes. Wow, we're getting seriously low here. 21 health. Alright, everyone's dead. We can just go back through the stairs if we need to. They would have followed us through the stairs. Some more plate, but I think +2 is the best you can get from plate anyway, so. This is not magical, not magical. Looks good. So I'm auto-fighting because these are all just normal orcs. They're not special orcs of any kind. Auto-explore, auto-attack. Some more auto-explore and some more killing of orcs. He had a trident, which is a reach weapon, which is what I'm after, but I don't think I'm going to find one much better than what I have, so I haven't really been paying much attention to what drops. More auto-attacking. Doom. So I think level 3 of the Orcish Mines is scary. You get surrounded by millions of ogres and trolls and undead trolls and lots of scary stuff. That wizard went invisible on me. So you see the question mark over that dude? That means he hadn't seen me yet. So I have every turn you spend in the visibility of like within sight of somebody, he gets a chance to see you, and that chance is reduced by your stealth. Now I haven't. Ooh, like I said, Trog is gonna give me gifts. He gave me a glowing mace. Now I don't need a mace, but it's a pretty good one, I would guess. Yeah, 18 damage. I'm currently using a 6 damage weapon. This does 18. So that's a damn good mace. But I'm going to stick with pole arms for now. I'll carry the mace around with me in case I get one of those guys that needs to die fast like an imp. Alright, so on this 3rd floor, we are scared. There are lots of beefy McBeefington things. Ooh, let's go upstairs. I got hit once and did some damage, man. So even berserk, it takes me like a couple of hits to kill even the squishy priests. I bet if I wore the god gift that I got, that I could kill things in one shot. 18 damage is so much more. But I've been training my pole arms, and it's all the way up to 7. It's my highest skill, so I don't really want to switch to maces. I'm a little scared of this troll. It says it looks dangerous. Priesty looks easy. Maybe the Priesty is faster than the troll, and I can get away with killing. Oh. So these guys will actually they pick up the weapons that they find on the ground. So all right, everyone's dead. More plate mail. More delicious dead things. A magic dagger that I'm not going to worry about, because I'm certainly not going to switch to daggers at this point. I'm debating whether to switch to the mace, although I'm probably not gonna, but I definitely am not going to switch to a dagger. So hopefully Trog's second gift will be a pole arm, because it's a little silly that he gave me a mace. Just throw things at people until... Now we'll go upstairs and fight these guys by themselves. Cut him up and put him in our inventory. See, the reason that we're near starving, even though we've got tons of meat in our inventory, is because we're nauseous, and if we eat any more meat, we might get sick. You don't want to get sick. Getting sick will reduce your stats. Let's turn on auto pickup and go run around and pick things up. That gets turned off when you fight an invisible guy. So I'm starving. But I don't want to eat gross stuff while I'm starving. While I'm nauseous because it'll make me sick. But I only have one ration left. Alright, I'm eating the ration. Ooh, look, Orc Dagger of Venom. Goblin Corpse, I'm poisoned. Let's bring the troll upstairs and fight him by himself. Then bring the Orc Warrior upstairs with his buddies and fight them by themselves. More plate mail. Ooh, magical plate mail. Dude. Protection from poison. That's one of the best protections you can get. Because the way this game works, right? You need to collect runes in order to win. If you get 3 runes, you can unlock the last level and win the game. But the more runes you collect, you can get up to 15, the higher a score you get when you beat the last level. So the first 3 runes you can get through with only poison resistance. So that's why poison is the most important. Poison resist is the only most important thing in the super early game. Whereas later runes require the other resistances. I've never won the game on any number of runes, so that's why to me poison resistance is like the end all best thing you'll ever get. Alright, let's bring some more Orc Warriors upstairs. Holy crap. That Orc Warrior hurts. And he's got a reach weapon. He's wearing a glaive, which is a 2-handed reach weapon. So if I move away, I'll die, because he can hit me 2 squares away. I can't go downstairs. I can blink this time. But for some reason, I'm out of mana again. Why am I always out of mana? Maybe berserking takes away my mana. Do I have a scroll of blink? No. Potion of curing, potion of magic. I'm gonna die. So let's start with potion of curing. Nope, I'm dead. Okay. So that's the game, man. I normally wouldn't die so quickly. I'd normally have gotten a bow by now. I can't believe I didn't get a bow. And once you have a bow, you can just use your superior speed and run really far away and shoot everyone with bows. And then you never have to berserk and you never run around slow. I died because I went back downstairs before waiting for my slow to finish, which was stupid. I wasn't hungry. I could have just hit shift 5 and I wouldn't have been slow, and then I could have gone downstairs, come back up, I would have been fast, and I could have run away or done lots of stuff. But who cares what mistakes I made? I just wanted to show you the game, and that's the game, and it's fun. So it's called Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, and there's a wiki that tells you everything you need to know, and it's open source, so if you have any questions that you can't answer, you just ask, and there are people that can look it up in the code for you, or you can do that yourself. And it's awesome. It's good times. It's like magic butter. So when you die, it identifies all your items, so you can see what you had in your inventory and laugh and see like, I did have that potion of blank. I thought that I didn't. And then, so that was the 10th highest level I've ever been. And centaur. That was my highest level guy is a centaur. Second highest is a minotaur, then centaur, then minotaur, then high elf. Hill orc priest. Hill orc priests are really interesting because you get followers. You go into the orcish mines, and the first orc that sees you is like, hey, I want to be your friend. And then he starts fighting for you. It's pretty cool. Again, there was no reason for me to die there. I could have summoned a friendly ogre. He would have killed all of them. I could have used regeneration. I could have used berserk. I went down when I was exhausted, out of mana, and slowed, so I couldn't use any of my abilities. And then, once I was in trouble, I tried to fight my way out of it all the way down to 7 health before even stopping to think, what should I be doing instead? So, I just died to impatience. But that's okay. I forgive me. This guy forgot to breathe. Isn't that sweet? Number 13. Brilliance ran out. So, basically, if your intelligence, like, whenever you get sick, you lose a stat. Like, almost permanently. Like, for thousands of rounds. And if a stat drops below 0, then you die. Not instantly. You slowly like get paralyzed and then get paralyzed and then die, like what was happening to me when I was starving to death.